So I have with me Jonny Tarr. Welcome, Jonny.
Hi, how are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
I'm good. Good to see you. So yeah, I was just saying your setup sounds so good when you're live streaming and even your visuals. So tell us what you're working with over there.
The visual part of it is actually pretty straightforward. I was trying to do it from my laptop and kind of just do it all through Facebook Live, but for some reason it doesn't like my laptop camera. I've tried using different browsers, but it just won't work. So what I've actually been filming from, I did start doing the main shot from my iPad, and I was doing like a shot of my feet on the loop pedals with my
Yeah,
phone, and then using the software Manycam.
love that.
Um, uh, but I've got a 4-year-old daughter, and she kept coming in and knocking things around. So having two different camera angles perfect all the time became like so time consuming. So I'm
Yeah,
just now using my iPad. But the thing that's making it sound so good, which I've got to give Brad Zell from QSC Speakers the credit for, is he recommended that I use a thing called an iRig, which it's like a tiny little mini like an interface which you go to a mixer, and then you go to this iRig thing with your two outputs from the mixer, and then it goes into the bottom of your phone, and basically it makes things sound fantastic. So that's
yeah.
kind of the magic trick to it, is that little piece of equipment.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that heads up. Very nice of you to share that.
Yeah.
So how often have you been live streaming?
At the very beginning I was doing sort of 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah,
And then it actually became more because I was doing things on different networks and a couple of private things and stuff like that. And then I just found like that was just diluting things a little bit too much. So at the current minute, I'm doing one on a Tuesday, which is at a 2 p.m. San Diego time, so that my friends and family and in Europe can check it out. And then
nice.
I'm doing like a Friday cocktail hour one at 6 p.m. San Diego time, which is more for the local people here, because it's like 4 in the morning for my friends at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. It gives them the option though if they're up at 4 in the morning, as most of
Yeah,
us
yeah.
are these
Some of them
days.
are. Some of
Yeah.
them are. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so you've recorded an album, very unique concept. It's called Live at Studio West, which I know a few other artists have done live Studio West albums, which are all amazing because that place
Have
is
they? I
beautiful.
thought I was the very first one.
But yours is the first I've ever heard of this, where you basically went in and recorded 3 sets, like that you would do if you were performing live.
Well, what it was I just wanted to record the songs as we do them live as a band, and it's come out so amazingly well. I think mainly because Studio
Incredible.
West is such a great place to record. But what we do when I play, because we're a kind of like more pop and dance orientated sort of act,
Yep.
is a lot of the tunes, if they're in the same BPM, because I play a lot of things to a click track live, because
Yep.
then I can fire sort of horn samples and things I've pre-recorded myself, and they will be in time with what we're all doing. So a lot of those tunes happen to be in the same BPM. So like we'll do the first 3 tunes will all be at like 110 BPM, and we can segue them. So what we did in Studio West, live at Studio West, is we actually did it as we do a live gig. So there's 3 tunes linked together, and then there's a standalone tune, and then there's 4 tunes linked together and a standalone tune, 2 tunes linked together, and then the finale tune. So that's exactly how we play that live,
Love
and
that.
that's what we tried to represent. So it might be a bit of a strange listening experience in that it looks like when you put it on that one track is 25 minutes long, you know.
Yeah.
But that's just the way I wanted to do it. I just thought, we're very practiced at doing it live, and if we're going to try and knock this out in one day, let's do it as we do it live,
Yeah.
because we've done so many gigs over the last year or so that I think that was the most expedient way of getting a good recording out of it.
And this is the trio?
This is actually a quintet now.
Okay.
Um, there's myself playing keyboards and sax and lead vocals, and also firing off the samples I was talking about. Then we got Monette Marino
Yeah.
on percussion, who
So
like
good.
she's like the first name on the team sheet. She makes everything twice as good as before she was
Yeah.
there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Then I've got 2 family members, a father and son, on guitar and drums, respectively. The drummer Miles is also kind of helping me produce stuff, and he's also singing.
Okay.
Um, and they're both phenomenally talented, Matt and Miles. And then Ken Dow on bass, who is he's just like royalty of
Yeah.
the bass world, basically, because he's
Absolutely.
he probably wouldn't like me saying it because he's very humble about it all, but he was the original bass player on the Jersey Boys musical on Broadway,
Yeah.
and he's played with Queen in its more recent incarnations, and also The Who in some
Yeah.
of their more recent incarnations.
Just stuff like
So,
that. Yeah.
yeah, just little throwaway gigs for Ken, and then
Right.
he comes to play for me, so I don't know what he thinks about all that.
Love it. Yeah, he's amazing. So when did you guys all record this?
This was recorded. I want to say it was recorded in like probably about maybe December or January.
Okay.
And then we quickly, through the rough mixes at the San Diego Music Awards, hoping to get a nomination, and we did.
Yeah.
Get for best pop act, which is
Congrats.
amazing. We're still waiting to see what happens there, obviously, because things have shut down.
I know I had my outfit all laid out. I'm sure you did too. Like we were literally a few weeks away from it. It was so exciting.
I was ready. I was totally up for it, and so, but the quarantine gave us the chance to really mix it and master it, and get everything affect it properly, and get everything sound as good as possible. And that's the mix I've just sent to you. The quarantine for me has been probably the most productive period of my life, and I don't want to sound like a cliche, but all I needed was the time and space to be able to, because on top of that album I've just sent you, I've actually demoed about 12 new songs for another album.
Yeah.
So there's that, and yeah, I've been loving it, man. How have you been feeling about it all?
It's funny. I kind of feel the same way. I always have, so many projects going on at once. I have this whole sewing thing I've been wanting to do, and then, just music in general. I never feel like I have enough time to really explore and without feeling guilty that I should be doing something else, just to keep sane. I started these different projects, and honestly, they've just been helping me through. And then Jonny had this program that you can, assemble beats essentially, and I'd never seen or done that. So I've been doing that and having a blast. And
Mate, it's like riding a bike, innit? Once you know, it seems so daunting to start with.
Yeah.
Once you just sit and you have the time to figure it out, which is the only way to really do these things, is just to sit and fiddle with it. Once you get it, it's like, wow, why have I not been doing this before? You know what I mean?
It is. So trying to stay positive about it. Jonny's going a little bit stir crazy, but he actually bought a bass, an acoustic bass. So
Wicked.
yeah,
Like an upright or an acoustic guitar bass?
just an acoustic guitar bass.
Oh, wicked. Okay.
Yeah, and so he, we're just messing around, and so that's been kind of fun.
That's
but
amazing.
I don't know.
Well, that's beautiful. It's so strange because since we've been locked down and we've been at home, I've just been with my wife and my daughter, and just gardening and just being at home and improving on home. And I'm just like, I don't really want to leave. I just don't really want to leave.
I love it.
It's so strange. It's like when you're a teenager, when you're at college, all you want to do is have phone calls and be interacting and have social. And now I'm just like, leave me alone.
It's kind of fantastic. I feel the same.
Yeah.
And not only that, just that the earth is healing. All the emissions and
amazing,
stuff. It's just so great. I just feel like, I hope everybody finds the good in this, because
learns the lesson.
Yeah,
That'd
for
be
sure.
nice, wouldn't it? Or is that too much to hope?
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so Metropolitics is the song that we're going to play. And so tell me about that song.
All right, now Metropolitics turned up on my first album that I made probably, 10 years ago now, but it wasn't released as a single, and it was kind of one of those ones that I wasn't that hot on when I recorded it and released it. It was like one of the fillers on the album, really. But people have listened to it and go, why don't you play this live? This is amazing, because it's a really straightforward sort of just dance, feel-good song. And I don't really write too many of those. My songs have usually got a bit more of a dark edge. But this one was actually written. There was a pub that my band back in London first started playing at called the Metropolitan. It's not there anymore, sadly, but it was... For me and people of my kind of peer group, it was like a real hub of music and partying, and just it was right on the Notting Hill Carnival route. I don't know if you've heard of the Notting Hill Carnival, but it's the biggest street festival in Europe.
Yeah.
And it was right on that route, and so if you could get a gig there during Notting Hill Carnival, you'd scored a gold medal, basically. So it was basically it's a tune written about me and my friends hanging out at that pub, basically, because it was a DJ. It wasn't like a sit down and drink pub. It was a get up and dance on the bar pub, and it was really, really, I really miss it, basically. So that's what this tune's about.
All right, cool. Okay, thank you, Jonny, so much. I love your show. Okay, folks, this is Metropolitics off of Jonny Tarr's brand new release live at Studio West, right here on the Listen Local show.
silent prayer and pray it doesn't end. It's all fair play, the play is fair. Get on your iPhone, call your friends. Next breakdown is coming soon. Promise we'll crack the room. Everybody up on your feet.